Good morning, this is Zane with Champion Autolift. Today we're going to be installing a TP10F. That's a 2-post 10,000 pound lift with the floor plate, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So I kind of already have it tore apart a little bit off the crate. We're going to stand up this first leg. This is the leg with the pump motor side. I have it propped up on a bucket, and you should be able to just raise it up easily. Alright, so I've got the posts stood up and bolted down. Your measurement will be 134 inches and 5/8 from the very outside of the post to the very outside of the other post. And then I always like to measure off the garage door to each side and then chalk a line all the way across. That way you get a nice square layout for your lift. And after you do that, go ahead and put the floor plate down there just to double check and make sure it's the right width. You'll have a little bit of play in this floor plate, but that's okay. And then you want to go ahead and run this cable down, and then make sure these two nuts are tight against each other. They're locked together. See? And then you pull that back up. So do that for both sides. And then also when you're running your cables, so you'll go all the way up around that pulley, and there's always a flat spot on the pulley so you can get your cable through. And you go down through the bottom, make sure you're not getting in the way of anything. And then down to that other pulley, all the way across the floor, that pulley, and then up, and it ends right there. And then just go ahead and get those finger tight for now and leave that lock nut loose because we'll tighten those later. Now we have the hydraulics all hooked up. So on the motor side post, you'll need to put this spacer in and then hook it to the hydraulic hose, which then goes up and connects to the motor. So then also put your top plate on, and it has two little screws you tighten it down with. You can go ahead and put your arms on. It's easiest if you put them on at an angle and then work your pin in from that way. And this is a 220 motor, but I can run it on 110 to test it. So I just have to push this little breaker in here, and you want to listen to the locks as they're locking. See how they're not locking at the same? So the one on this post here is lagging behind, so that means we need to tighten these nuts that are in here on the opposite side. If you have a long, deep socket, just leave it on there and try again. Still getting behind. Getting closer. That's what you want to hear them locking at the same time. Now that you have completed the lift, it's always a good idea to go back and double check all the bolts and nuts, make sure you got everything tight, and run it up and down, make sure everything works good. Your little lock releases are those orange little pull tabs, one on each post. You need to pull those to release the locks to let your lift down. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, just give us a shout. ChampionAutolift.com.